Server restart in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to Server Restart In.
Where did I do? Sorry.
Ooh, we are off to a great
Oh shit! I'm
start.
gonna die. I'm gonna die. God damn it!
Well,
sorry.
welcome back. This is Server Restart In, a World of Warcraft podcast, not a Final Fantasy XIV I'm gonna die podcast. It's a World of Warcraft podcast where three opinionated players like to get together weekly to discuss their thoughts and opinions about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I'm joined by Kristen and Brian.
Hello.
And this week has been a dead week. Not a lot has happened. Very few things have come out. One of the, I guess, biggest things came out. There was a blue post. Looks like they're going to increase some of the anima returns on Mythic Pluses and on the raids. I think from a Mythic Key 7 through 9, you're going to get 2 items of anima, doubling it to 70 anima per dungeon. And on 10 plus, you get a third one, which will bring you up to 105. So, it's a little better. Maybe not a catch-up mechanic for alts, because alts aren't really going to be doing necessarily high keys to begin with. The first 8 bosses of a raid will give you 2 or 3. They'll give you some number. And the last 2 bosses will give you 5.
Does that mean 3?
3 of the
Does that mean
35
3
items.
drop from the boss, or 3 per person?
3 per person, because I think everybody gets anima. It's like the gold or the Azerite power stuff that you used to get.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's a guaranteed drop. Everybody gets it. It's just a flat thing across the board, not on the loot table. But the last 2 bosses give you 5. So that's like 175 anima for the last 2 bosses, which we haven't got to yet. That's kind of it. They did a recent update across the board for quite a bit of DPS classes. One of those was Frost Death Knights. Got like a 5% increase to damage across the board. It seems larger, or it seems like it's doing better damage. Like when I'm doing stuff in the world, but I haven't really done any content where it would be really evident or like more noticeable. So I really don't know. I guess it really doesn't affect a lot of the classes that we play other than Frost DK, because I don't know I think maybe Arms got some, and I'm pretty sure Boomkin didn't.
Did
I
not.
think everybody else got a big enough bump that we dropped a little bit. But I know they raised everybody.
I didn't know if Arms was in that list or not for that.
Though there's been like 3 in the past couple weeks, so I'm not sure.
This one was.
I know we were on 1 or 2 of them. So.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. They're balancing it out. Okay, whatever. That's pretty much standard stuff. I think they fixed some quests. I mean, there's not much in the game. There's really not a lot of development in the game.
Yeah.
It's been pretty dead as far as, the group that we play with. People have, it just seems that interest has waned and dropped off. And I did start working on my healer. I was healing a bunch of normals, and then today I healed a couple heroics. It is strange to be on that end of the spectrum. I mean, I know that when I DPS, I really do my best to not stand in shit. Okay. So I queued for heroic, got in on Muzala on the other side. And
Wait, you got in on the last boss?
I got in on the last boss. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea. There's no, whatever that counter is you get for raids, determination stacks. So I have no idea how long they've been doing this. And the tank's like, do you know the fight? I'm like, yes, I know the fight. Apparently nobody else did. So we're not in voice comms, so I can't say move left, right, or back, and they just stood and soaked the shit. And I don't know if the tank wasn't using cooldowns, because after the first gate, he started taking just massive damage. And I'm just like, I can't keep him up. And it's just like, I don't know if it's a deficiency on my part, which there's probably a little bit there because I don't have years of healing under my belt. It's not a role I usually fill, but I really feel that there is, because I've tanked that fight. I know that there are some really heavy hitting abilities, and he would get down so low, and I don't know if I was just panic spamming stuff. I just couldn't get stuff out and trying to move, and it's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But the third try, he died. I think I don't know if he missed the gate or if I just didn't keep him up, but we still managed to kill it. So I was glad to get out of that. But
Yeah, welcome to the world of a healer when people don't move out of shit.
oh, I've seen that even doing normals, like hunters especially. Not to perpetuate the stereotype, but hunters just stand there and just pew pew the whole time.
Which is crazy to me because they can move.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, and I don't want to say it's discouraging, but it's one of those things where it's just like, it being so new, I have to do it in small doses.
Well, it makes you
Right.
doubt yourself a little bit. Like,
No.
is it me?
No. When you're sitting there and you watch this stupid Death Knight stand up in the front in DPS and not move out of the shit on the left and the front slam from Muzala, I know that's not me.
Yeah, but people seem to think
And
that
he's like-
as a healer, you can heal through everything.
And he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, you're not moving out of the mechanics." And he goes, "Who?" I go, pretty much all the DPS.
Yeah.
And he just laughed. And I'm like, don't stand in the shit.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see it doing damage? I mean, I did Aspires on Heroic, and was there a death? There might have been a death, but I don't know if I felt bad about it. Well, we wiped on the last boss because they didn't pick up the all the orbs, so they didn't do the thing, and that stack during that phase sucks. You can't keep them up.
The worst is when the tank misses the boss.
Yeah,
with
I
the
don't even
freaking
think he even
spear.
got to pick it up, unless there's a reset mechanic on it. I don't think they got the last ball, and I mean, I get being new, right? I mean, these dungeons were new to all of us, right? At the beginning. So we didn't necessarily know what to do. But if you don't know, ask a fucking question. Say, what's this boss do? Or, I've never done this. Can you let me know how this goes? And it's just like, I don't know. More than willing to say, yeah, run out when you get the debuff thing, and people just don't know to run the shit out, so I can decurse them and drop the puddles off, and it's just, I don't know. It was okay the second time we did it, but it's just, I don't know. People just need to not be ashamed to be new. Like when I started healing, first thing we get in is, hey, still new to healing, take it easy on me. Nobody paid attention to it, and just run in and bowl everything because it was like the weekly dungeon or something like that. So I'm just like freaking out. But, it's just, I don't know. So I kind of got that going on as far as keeping me busy. But, I mean, other than that, it's just, I don't fucking know. I don't know. There's...
I picked up a companion this last week before reset. I picked up a companion. That was the only thing that's really kind of updated for me.
Oh, yeah, we have to do Torghast.
Yeah, we haven't even done our Torghast runs.
No, we need to.
Yeah, I did one last week. I didn't do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to check and make sure I don't need to make a thing.
Yeah. I need the anima, whatever it is. The
Soul Ash?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my best in slot memory, but I don't have enough to make it yet, so I'm saving.
Yeah, I did a couple of Torghast runs on my Shaman to do like the Jaina and then to find information about Thrall and all that stuff. So I'm going through that. I tried to look up, because I know we talked briefly about the BlizzCon line or that's what they're calling it. You know, that's coming up in like 2 weeks or something like that.
BlizzCon what?
BlizzCon line.
BlizzCon line?
Yeah, like online, but con.
Oh.
BlizzCon
line.
online.
Oh, I get it. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
That's pretty dumb.
I went to their webpage or whatever, but they don't have anything listed as far as like what's gonna be there. I mean, it's everything I could find was pretty much, well, you missed the deadline for, I don't know what it was, maybe like the cosplay stuff or whatever. You know, it's like everything's virtual because of the current state of the world, and so I don't know.
That's like the only thing I really think of is like,
what
so we're probably gonna get like a wind of what is coming next, and then a highlight of the future of the expansion, and then like Diablo Immortal is really the only thing that's still like sitting out there that doesn't seem to have a very long.
I don't think it's coming out
release.
this year. I think I read somewhere that it wasn't coming out this year.
No, they said they're not releasing Diablo 4 this year.
Oh,
Diablo Immortal is that
God.
mobile game
I'm an
they
idiot,
announced like 3 years ago.
At the last BlizzCon.
Oh, the Diablo mobile
What, you guys all
one.
have phones, right?
Oh, that's right.
What's that? Oh yeah, because
And everybody got pissed when they announced it because like
Nobody
the
wants
guy
to
was like,
play-
"What do you mean? You guys all have phones, right?"
Nobody wants to play Diablo on your phone.
I'm pretty sure wasn't that the one that was the year before that?
Yeah,
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, I guess they do it every year.
It wouldn't. Well, yeah, except for last year, but
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, this is like the. I don't know. This is technically last year's.
I-
now.
Yeah, I did see a little brief article where it sounds like there's probably going to be several Warcraft-based mobile games coming out.
Yeah, I read something about that.
It's like
Like,
very
they
general.
said that. Yeah, something about they have a big
plan
swath
to like
of, things for
flesh
Warcraft.
things out. So I don't know. I mean,
Wait, what?
they're gonna make some Warcraft like mobile games
Oh.
to like. I don't know if it's just gonna be like side character stuff and like do like little side stories, or if it's gonna be like a Diablo game or like an idle game, or like a match game like Candy Crush. You know, it'll be Sylvanas Crush or whatever, which I already have.
Oh no, that was terrible.
Oh, here it is. It was in the investor call. It says that multiple Warcraft teams are working on new content initiatives across platforms.
Mm.
So I don't know what that means, but
I think there was, and then it looks like, I don't know, Twinfinite, whatever, the report, I guess they quoted Bobby Kotick as saying multiple mobile free-to-play Warcraft experiences are also coming, and they're in advanced development. So we're probably going to see some stuff about that.
Free to play.
Free to play, sure.
Sure. So all I'm hearing
Oh.
is cash shop.
I mean, every freaking
no.
game has a
Well, I
cash
mean,
shop.
yeah, sure, maybe so, but yeah, it says this will create opportunities for existing players and new fans to experience the Warcraft universe in entirely new ways.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm down with that.
I mean, as long as it has a good story, you know, like maybe they'll do like the Shaw and Flynn stuff, and they'll have them go on like adventures or whatever, you know.
Dude, they could make so much money off of little spin-offs like in different on different platforms
Well,
like that.
just ad revenue. I mean, honestly, if it's free to play, it's probably have
yeah.
ads
I mean,
in it.
even so, like if they charge $5 for a game that you could sink a few hours into, even in a week, you know that most of the player base would eat that up in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I think the key is that they're saying that they're going to be free to play, meaning that it's going to be like, oh, buy extra lives, or it's going to be I wonder if it's going to be like a Raid Shadow Legends thing, but it's going to be like Shadowlands.
That's the sad part about mobile, though, is that mobile has this player market where it goes from 98% is scruffy, I'm not going to buy anything, and then the top 2% are anywhere from small buyers to ginormous buyers.
I think it's higher. I
Um,
think it's probably not that diverse. It's
Obviously, I have no idea.
oh
But what I'm saying is that there are huge. There are people that dump their whales. They're called something
Yes.
whales, and
Oh,
they
Yeah,
are
they're
the ones
whales.
that buy.
Yes.
Yes, they buy the most on these free-to-play type games,
Yep.
and they dump all that money,
Yep.
and that's what weighs the whole damn thing out. It's not
I mean,
like
you just use your game.
it's not like a lot of other traditional things
Yeah.
when you're measuring your customers. So
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
but driving it though is, I don't know. I mean, it could go both ways, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, if the games are engaging and they don't require you to be a Warcraft fan, they'll probably find a new market. You know what I mean?
yeah, probably so. I mean, I hope it's not to the extent of something like Hearthstone, where it's just they're kind of digging their teeth into something totally different. I hope they do some fan service in, say, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like create a mobile app or a mobile game.
There was a game, and I used to see ads for it, and it's since been pulled. But it was almost like a group idle game, and it was basically every character in it was like a chibi Warcraft character, but they had like stupid names like Dark Elf Ranger, which is Sylvanas, and like Angry Orc or whatever was Garrosh, and all this other shit. And
I think they petitioned them to remove it.
It's gone. It's been gone.
Yeah,
but it was like
that's what I'm saying. I think it was Blizzard that went up. I remember. I think we talked about this at some point.
we may have talked about it, but I don't know if we've talked about it here.
Mm.
I think you and I had talked about that because that's been done and gone for quite a while. But I can imagine them doing something. What if they bought that studio and just took that game and said, "We're gonna do it now." But
Yeah, no, that would be interesting to see what happens.
it's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be either solitaire or free cell with just Hearthstone backs.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting to see that, and hopefully they're not going to make that a focus, because I think if they make that a focus, if they make mobile gaming a focus at their BlizzCon thing, they're just going to piss people off again.
Yeah, I don't think they can. I think they already realize that going from their less than good expansions to their good expansions, I think they see a trend in people coming back to play when it's worth coming back, and that engagement has them trying to solidify the IP overall so that they can sustain those lows when they inevitably create another BFA or WAD or whatever it may be.
Why can't they just keep making good expansions?
Yeah, I mean, it's always gonna be hit and miss. It'd be
Sure.
interesting to see how Shadowlands turns out in the end. But I think like right now, it's a great expansion. It's just like now, heck, if we had more other things to do that are associated with the Warcraft universe, that would keep me engaged. I wouldn't.
It would be nice.
I haven't canceled my account yet, but that wouldn't.
Yeah,
if
you're
it was
due.
one of those things.
Yeah, and it would be a neat way to like kind of flesh out the lore stuff too, so that way you can experience it and get it through like a fun way rather than just going online and trying to read like WoW Wiki or whatever, or buying the books. I mean, don't get me wrong; those books are great. The Chronicles, those are good books.
They are.
As far as like the history, but again, it's limited knowledge based on the knowledge of the Titans, right? It's from that perspective, and we're already learning other things that aren't even in there, So it's like that can only take you so far. So having games and stuff, it makes it easier to remember too, right? Because when you're doing something enjoyable, it just tends to be, better and more memorable.
So you have to consider too, one of the things about the mobile, or it's not really mobile, how'd they word it? They're different platform stuff, I guess. You have to consider that what Activision still has the Candy Crush people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of that too, like, you know, you may find that some of this stuff does roll out with the cringy mobile standard, you know, that
I think it depends
free
on
to play,
yeah.
buy to play type systems.
I think it depends on what the game is. If it's like a time waster like Candy Crush, I'm probably not going to be as into it. But if it's something more along the lines of, I mean, even close to like the Diablo Immortal, or like we were talking about the other day, the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition on the thing, you know what I mean? Like a full-blown RPG, or even something in between, like Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, before the meta got stupid on it, and it was like became pay to win kind of thing.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a lot of fun with that game.
And even then, that has a PC version. So
Well, it didn't at the time.
It didn't at the time, but it does now. So
Yeah.
these mobile titles could potentially, run on PCs too. A lot of that stuff is cross-platform that way. So you could get some like interesting games. You could get like some RTS type games, base builders, kind of like Clash of Clans or whatever. Those are like kind of big. Like a big one now is like Vikings or something like that. Just something like that. Like there was a Transformers game I played that was like that. That was really good. That I enjoyed. You collect them all and you can build all the combiners and shit. Get the Dinobots and yeah, I enjoyed that. They could make an Angry Birds version of Warcraft.
Oh God, nothing like the Bastion World Quest.
Oh, I
please.
know. They already have
Oh, no,
that
that's
in
Flappy
there.
Bird. That's Flappy
Bird. Whatever. It's a
It-
bird.
I liked Angry Birds. I remember playing Angry Birds Star Wars during
Oh,
statistics
hell
in
yeah.
college.
Angry Birds was great. It was like one of those games where you're like, I like this.
I don't think I ever played it.
It's the with slingshots. And you have to kill the pigs.
Oh, yeah, no, I
And you have
didn't
to kill
play
the pigs.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, what else do you think they're going to do about... I mean, obviously at the BlizzCon thing, they're going to do like their cosplay stuff, but I mean, it's not going to be as big a deal. They're going to do their March of the Murlocs thing, which I'm not even sure what the hell that is. They're going to have like their art stuff, but I'd like to see some dev stuff, I think, for Warcraft, or even just in general. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how like in depth they'd go about development stuff, but like coding stuff would be neat to see.
I mean, they quite a bit. They've gone through stuff in the past. There's even not network engineers, but the software engineers that wrote the network, how they package messages and send it back and forth to the client.
Yeah.
There's a video out there from like 2014 or something like that when they were on stage discussing that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as the game goes though, like the only other thing that really caught my attention as far as like what might be coming up is there was a mention of remastered content that would be, I don't know if it meant like it's going to be something announced at BlizzCon or later on in the future, but that was in their little investor thing.
So when you say
well.
remastered stuff, are you talking about just Warcraft IP stuff, like maybe like Orcs versus Humans in Warcraft 2?
It wasn't specified.
Mhm.
My assumption is like the next TBC classic, because
Yeah.
that's the word on the street.
Well, they did send. I mean, they've already sent out the survey.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of people got, that they sent the thing out about classic, and that was pretty much, okay, well, they're sending this out. It's probably happening. Well, they sent the TBC one out, so it's probably happening.
Oh, yeah.
The question is, though, are they going to keep it separate, or are they going to update classic to be classic TBC?
Honestly, I think that they should have both. I mean, it splinters your player base, but
I mean, does it matter if it's included with your WoW subscription? Your player base
Yeah,
is
no.
the same.
So let's be
Yeah.
honest. They're going to do both. They're most likely just going to have TBC servers come online
right.
where you
and
can
allow
go,
people to play them.
Right.
would you be able to transfer a character from Classic to TBC?
I don't know. I would think so, but
Maybe a paid service for that?
I think what they should really do is go rip that page, like I said before, out of EverQuest's book
Yeah, progression servers.
and do progression servers.
Yeah, they should have one for each expansion, and you go back, and that's the one you want to play, you play it. You go back and just play on a Lich King server and play up through Lich King and just do all that shit. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be as much fun, especially because the way they're doing it is like they roll out patches, but like that's the whole game. It's like you don't have servers that are on the initial like WoW Classic 1.2.1 release. Like
So they did WoW Classic weird. So the problem with WoW Classic was that vanilla had most of its patches were fixes
Mhm.
in some implementation of features such as battlegrounds, honor system. In I don't know that they released. I don't remember if they released their actual like new content raid and dungeons and stuff necessarily on those type of cycles, but the problem there is that when they did Classic, they started out at a certain patch point for a stable game, and then they tiered out all the raids and associated dungeons. I don't remember. Like
Right.
Mardon, I don't think Mardon wasn't released initially. It came out after the fact.
right. But
Stuff like that.
But the thing is, though, too, is that if it's just content as opposed to... Because when you start getting into TBC, you're going to have different
Yeah,
patches.
so TBC was different because every major patch was a content patch.
Right. And it's just... Doesn't EverQuest like start a server at the beginning and then progress it based on the player base on that server?
They vote to open.
Right.
The next...
I'd like them to do something like that. Spin up a new...
Yeah, I do too.
And then, if people want to go do it, you go do it. And then,
I think they should have both, honestly. Like,
right, they should have a main...
if people want to go live... If you want to go live on the vanilla server, you go play on that one. If you want to be on progression,
Yeah.
you go to a progression. And start over new. That's like one of the coolest things to do. So
Right. Because you could have a classic progression server or a Lich King progression server.
Yep.
But does a Lich King progression server start at the beginning of Lich King and then progress up?
well,
Or does it
so
start
for
at the beginning and go through everything again?
So like from EverQuest perspective, they start from the beginning
Right.
and go. And that server that could take. I don't know. I know there was one that started in 2015, and I couldn't. I'm not sure what expansion they're on yet, but that's 6 years worth of being a server,
I mean,
and they're going through the content. So,
the only...
but again, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like it's not like it's the same. It's not like it's going to be traditional where each expansion is like 2 years apart or something like that.
Right. It progresses at the player's discretion, basically.
Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly how it is. I assume it's just a majority vote and then it gets opened up. I think that they have a minimum amount of time that it can open up. And if not, there's a maximum amount of time. So it can't just stay on one patch or whatever it may be.
Right.
The entire time.
It can't
but
open
it can
until
extend.
here.
It can extend out to a certain
Right.
time.
So I'm curious if they have the code from TBC or if they have to reconstitute it like they had to do with Classic, right? Because they said that they didn't have the code.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to say. I mean, they could reverse engineer it because, I mean, honestly, there's been plenty of private servers out there,
Sure.
and there's plenty of versions of the client. I don't think it would be that hard for them to do it. It's really hard to say because EA just released, or they're getting ready to release, I don't know if it's out yet, it's Mass Effect Legend or whatever. It's the original Mass Effect trilogy, remastered, and all that stuff. And there was, read some stuff about how there's one part of it, and it's all the DLC that came with it or whatever, except there's one DLC content for one thing I think from the first one that they just couldn't do because like the code is all corrupt, and they even reached out to the original developers whose backups were bad or whatever. So I mean, it does happen. Like, so Baldur's Gate, they redid or all the old was it Bethesda? Did Bethesda do that? Baldur's Gate, or was it
No.
the original ones?
No. Let's see.
It might have been the publishing company or the developers.
Is Black Island?
Black
Isle?
Black Isle, but there was another company involved with it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So when Beamdog started doing their enhanced editions, which is all like the original stuff, they added some new content or whatever. They did Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale. BioWare, that's what I was thinking. It was a B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Icewind Dale, Planescape Torment, but they couldn't do Icewind Dale 2 because the code is just gone. Like they didn't have access to the source code, so they couldn't do like an enhanced edition for that one, which sucks.
I mean, to be honest with you, like, one, we're assuming a lot. We don't really know what that actually meant when they talked about Classic and them not having it. It could have been literally like it's gone, or literally like it's just an encrypted on a piece of storage tape, and they don't have the they don't have the mechanism to re-roll it back out or something.
Or they just kept overriding with the different versions and just never kept like version history.
Yeah, and I mean there's probably
right.
a good chance that happened. But in this case, they did such a great job with Classic as it is. They probably have that pattern, whatever it is, for them to reverse engineer their own stuff down pat. And if they don't, I would be completely fine with the optional new graphics engine, and they just port it back to, the same skill sets and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're going to get it right. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Honestly,
I hope they do spend more time, though, because again, the progression system, the way that EverQuest did it, I think would be amazing to play. Because then, like,
you can
because
always
I know
start
right now,
over.
if I invest in Classic, then I'm there, right? And I don't know what the future is of Classic, so it's hard to. I don't want to have a relationship with a bunch of people on retail and then have one on Classic too, and have to bounce that back and forth. But in cases like now, where we're all playing together and we're in a lull, well, we could bounce to something like that and progress.
Yeah.
At whatever pace we want or something like that, so
yeah,
it's very interesting. Like, I don't want to go back to, even now, I really don't want to play Classic because it's pretty much done now. Like, I mean, I guess guilds probably have Nax on farm at this point, and that's it. Like, Nax was barely out when TBC came out, so
yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with some of their old stuff. I don't know, we're probably just going to end up getting a remastered version of the 3 Vikings or whatever. The Lost Vikings.
Hey, they put on a mobile device, it'd be great.
Yeah. Trying to think, what else is there?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, it's hard. I saw some article somebody wrote about that's what it is. So it's the 30th anniversary of Blizzard, right? So they have these packs you can buy, and it has different things for like Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Diablo 3, and StarCraft and all that stuff. And you got a $20 price point, a $40 price point, and a $60 price point. And if you only play one game or don't have like the other games, it's kind of pointless, right? Well, yeah, because we'll just use World of Warcraft for an example, right? You pay $20, you get a pet. Okay, that's pricey for a pet. You pay $40, you get the pet, and then you get a mount, which is a pretty neat looking mount. It's like a bear with like jagged ice coming out of it, kind of stuff. So it's like a polar bear mount, but all full like Mr. Freeze type shit. But then when you get up to the Epic Pack, the Warcraft option is just 30 days of game time. It's like, if you only play WoW, why are you going to spend $20 for something that's worth like $15?
I don't know if they thought that through.
Well, it's because it has everything else in it. Right?
Sure, but
if they would make, and because it's a Blizzard anniversary, they're including all the Blizzard games, as opposed to if it was a World of Warcraft anniversary. Maybe
what's
it would
some of the other stuff that, like, for what games?
I think the World of Warcraft anniversary was a mount. So, I mean, now they've made up a whole new set of SKUs to try to sell more for their Blizzard anniversary. So, yeah, when you get to $60 and consider that the subscription is $15, now you got to look at the value of $45 worth of shit. And between a mount, which is usually $20, and a pet that's $10, you're at $30. So now $15, is the rest of that shit worth $15?
Well,
probably somebody is. So
if you're not doing the top tier, that you're at $30 for a pet amount, and then you're paying $40. So I mean, it's like $10 more than it would be. So,
yeah. I mean, that's assuming that you just don't play anything else at all. But that mount, is a mount available otherwise?
That I don't know.
I'm more concerned about the pet.
It's a moon touched netherwhelp.
The pet?
Yes.
Oh.
A little moon dragon.
Okay.
Oh no, maybe I was thinking of the 6 month.
No, the 6 months up. That was new. That just came out. It's like a Lucky Tawn or something like that. And it's like a golden bull. It's I don't know if it's related to like a Chinese New Year thing or whatever. It kind of looks like it is, but I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, I saw that come out.
So the Epic Pack thing, it's pretty much only like, I don't know what you consider that, but like game time, card packs and loot boxes in Overwatch. And it says transmog set for Diablo 3, but
just a helm transmog.
Oh.
On a game that nobody's going to be playing as soon as Diablo 4 comes out.
Yeah. That's I
mean, there's a lot of stuff for Diablo 3.
A whole lot of it lately at all.
You get a pet and portrait for Diablo 3 in one of them. You get wings for the heroic pack, and then you get a helm transmog. And it's just like, I mean, sure, people. I mean,
at that point, they should have just, instead of all that stuff, they should have just made it $20 more and giving you $15 of BlizzBucks.
Yeah.
Or they could have given you 30 days of game time for Diablo 3.
There you
go. Yeah.
$30 to the real money auction house. Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I mean, I would assume that stuff's gonna end up in the store anyway on a bundle. Only because, like, when WoW Classic came out, they have the alabaster mounts, which those are in the store. So, like the ones that look like porcelain or whatever, the griffin and the hippogriff.
I mean, I kind of consider this more along the lines of like what BlizzCon stuff is, and that's just exclusive. So,
I don't know if this is exclusive now. It doesn't. I don't know if it says that.
Well, I'm saying I'm making an assumption based on how they treat BlizzCon mounts.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being exclusive. I mean, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Let's see. What are we talking about?
$40 is a little pricey. Be buying, basically a mount from a simple Warcraft players.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Because this article talks about the digital goods that usually come for the games usually come with the BlizzCon ticket. So these may just be one time only. Now, granted, you have through September 15th to buy these.
Oh, yeah, because BlizzCon's going to be free to watch, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. So there's no ticket. So you have time to potentially pick this stuff up.
But you make a good point though. What they should have done was, if they're going to eat some of the cost or most of the cost of BlizzCon this year, or between last year and this year, then they should have just made these little packages for each specific game or something. Because
and then bundle them together for a little bit of a discount. Maybe make a $35 pack or a $30 pack for each game, or like a $25 pack for each game. But if you pay $40, you get 2 games worth of stuff, and you could pick and choose. Like, make it a la carte. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, it's like, I do have Diablo 3. I do not play it, and I still haven't bought the fucking Necromancer. But it's like, I don't want StarCraft shit. I don't play StarCraft. My APM sucks. And Heroes of the Storm.
I like Heroes of the Storm.
I haven't played that in so long. Hearthstone. I don't really play Hearthstone.
I need to go back and play Hearthstone. I used to play Arena.
I probably need to
bit.
play for Kristen so that I can get her a freaking mount. The Tyrael's Charger or whatever.
Mm.
Isn't that the one?
No,
Or is
I
it...
thought I already...
No, you had to win 5. There's one you have to win 5 matches in Hearthstone to get.
I thought you did that one for me.
No, I did that for me, and I never got around to doing it for you.
Yeah.
You can install
Hearthstone sucks.
You can install it now because you have space again on your computer.
Yeah. I'm not going to install it.
You got to play it on a tablet. It's a
good
pooping game.
I don't enjoy Hearthstone.
Our tablets don't run it very well. They're old. I tried and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now my phone though.
Oh yeah.
And it would be nice if you could split the screen on it, because we got those phones with like the extra screen case or whatever. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. I feel like they really I wish that more things took advantage of that, or there was more like
it's just not common enough.
Yeah. Like, because it would be nice like for me to read on my phone, and I could hold it like an actual book, and that would be kind of cool. I'd like that because I do miss actually holding books when I read. But yeah, the live letter is just
yeah
done.
So WoW is dead. It's official.
Ha. I don't think it's dead.
It's not dead. It's definitely in a lull though, and I don't know. Hey, you're obsessed with Final Fantasy right now.
I am having a blast.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, even like, I don't know if it's the lack of structure because we're not raiding multiple nights a week now, but I don't know. Like,
I'm sure that's it. I mean, for you guys, it's at least you had something engaging to work towards.
Well,
whether it was fun or not.
Engaging and aggravating. Yeah, it was fun, but it was aggravating because when you get into higher level content where people need to play at a higher level and it feels like people are making mistakes that they shouldn't be, and it just gets frustrating. And so there is a level of frustration that comes with that, but it's still engaging, and it does feel good when you do some of that stuff.
See, I don't get that frustration. For me, my favorite time is progression. And I can wipe over and over and over again on a boss, and I don't mind it at all, as long as we're making progress. Like,
that's just it. I'm talking about the parts where
but
we're not making progress.
You are making progress because people are learning, but not everybody learns at the same speed.
No.
And so you're getting that memory, you're building that memory. It's happening. It just might not be happening at the speed which you would like it to happen, but it's happening, and you are usually making incremental amounts of progress, I hate farm. I hate farm so much. Just because it's just annoying. But progress for me is my favorite.
I mean, but speaking of progression and rating, our group did manage to get, what is it, 7-6 down in one night, and we made a lot of good progression on the Council of Blood.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Yep, 6.
In a pretty quick time. So I mean, you know,
Yeah, we had like an hour
Yeah,
of progression on that.
so
boss.
it's definitely very possible that once we get to the last couple of bosses and get that done, that we could clear it in a night.
Yeah.
You know, with our raid schedule. It'll be interesting to see who's available this week because it's the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Definitely, I know
it's-
one of our healers we will not have.
ooh, is this a chance for Jim to heal?
What
Oh, that would
item
be some
level are
shit,
you?
wouldn't it?
Oh.
Full-time healer.
What item level are you on your healer?
Like 164, 165.
All right. Okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting
Yeah,
there.
no, I mean, that's
We
okay.
could see how.
We should turn it into an alt night.
I mean, we could just an alt night for some people, you know, because we still need a main group of people that know what the hell they're doing and are on decent characters to. No, you say that. You say that.
Wow, whatever. It'd be fun. We don't have to spend the whole time on it. It's not that big of a deal.
I mean, we'll see who shows up, which I think is what we normally do on holidays or whatever. We won't cancel, and we'll just, you know, it'll just be if people show up and want to do it and we have enough, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll do something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like we've kind of really hit on everything that there really is to talk about in this last week. We just really haven't had a lot of stuff going on. It's been pretty quiet. We went ahead and talked a little bit about the upcoming BlizzCon, even though there's not a lot of information out there about it. We talked about, you know, the news that they're working on some Warcraft mobile games, which, you know, I have a...
Did it actually say mobile games? I want to.
Yes, the quote specifically says mobile games. And I have to get the right mouse to click on the right link. He is quoted as saying, multiple mobile free-to-play Warcraft experiences. That is a quote.
Okay, yep, I see it.
It's a
Gotcha.
quote inside a quote
Yeah.
from one article quoting another article quoting the CEO. So,
And there's another one backing up that says on more platforms than ever before. So that makes sense.
well, if you think about mobile platforms, you have Android and you have iOS and all that stuff. I mean, and it could be on PC. So now you have a Warcraft game that's on multiple platforms. Maybe.
WoW on Switch.
Oh, that was something else too. This kind of irked me. So I know we were wrapping it up, but so Warcraft logs, right? You know, is you can upload your raid logs and all that stuff to the site. It'll parse it out. It does rankings and all that stuff, but it shows what happened during the fights and all that kind of stuff. Well, they have a new app. They still are supporting like the regular Adobe Air, whatever program that shit runs on, uploader, because they're only working on Windows right now, but they've moved to be an Overwolf app. And that just irks me because it's not an add-on. It is part of the overlay for Overwolf that you would then have to have on and have in your game. And I just don't want that. But it has all these it has like a control button or whatever that you can put. It's almost like it's an add-on. It's like, but it requires Overwolf, and that just like what the fuck? It's like I don't want this.
So was this an add-on before?
You would do your logs. You would then open.
Yeah, the log aggregator. It was an add-on.
I just use regular combat logs.
Yeah.
You just start. So I have Ask Mr. Robot, which automatically turns on combat logging. So if you do /combat log or whatever, it'll start logging your combat to a log file. And then when you're done, you turn it off. The add-on for Ask Mr. Robot does it when you enter a raid and leave a raid instance. And then you take that, you use the World of Logs or Warcraft logs Warcraft Logs has a app that you install locally that you point to the file and it loads it up to their website and all that stuff, and that's how you upload your logs, and it goes into the database for everything, and that's how the parses come out and all that stuff. But they're moving to being an Overwolf app, which means not a standalone, but part of the Overwolf, which means you have to have Overwolf running and have that allowed to do an overlay in the game. And I just don't want that, because it looked pretty neat. It looked like you could pull up log information for fights and all that stuff, and like the same way you do on the website. It's gonna do it locally and all that stuff. But I don't know. That just I don't know. I'm like looking on CurseForge, going, where is it? Where is it? And then they're like, it's an Overwolf app, and I went, fuck. So, yeah.
Oh well.
So yeah, we talked about the Blizzard anniversary packs and all that stuff, and then Jim bitched about an add-on or an app overlay, and yeah. So thanks for listening to me, bitch. You can check us out at facebook.com/server-restart-in. Send us a tweet at server_restart. You can probably, bathe in the blood of an ox and just, sacrifice small woodland fowl to summon things to contact us as well. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.